When you think of some of the most impactful speakers in our history, who usually comes to mind? John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., maybe even President Barack Obama. But today I want to talk about one person in particular, someone who was able to persuade and influence people to move a nation. This would be Nazi leader Adolf Hitler. He brought about destruction and disdain to change the history of not only Germany, but Europe and the world. What all of these great speakers have in common is the essential quality of greatness. This includes confidence, passion and purpose, maybe even understandable language and expressive voice. All of these together allowed the speaker to persuade his audience to actually listen to them and to be able to try new things out. So Hitler was very creative in the way that he choreographed his speeches and events. From the beginning to the end, he wanted to make sure that his atmosphere was engaging and enticing. He would hold his major speeches in the evening time. This is where he had the best subdued lighting, and then he would have his stage lit up so that his appearance would be better. His stage was filled with masses of Nazi flags with eagles on them, military men in their uniforms, and military music playing in the background. He would purposely arrive late to his speeches because upon his arrival, the bands would play Banderweiler March. This would engage the audience and they would be very excited about what was to come after he would present his speech on the stage. Hitler put a great deal of time into writing his speeches as well. He was one of the only few orators to actually write his own. He spent endless nights writing, practicing, and perfecting them. He would edit them up to 5 times or more to make sure that they were just right for the audience that he was presenting to. He would rehearse many times as well. He would look into a mirror and analyze every word, action, and gesture. He wanted to make sure that his audience was believing of him, that he had confidence, and that he was knowledgeable about the topic that he was presenting on. He also wanted to connect to his German audience because there was chaos and resentment towards Germany at this time after the Germans had just lost World War I. Their country was reduced to ruin. They had sacrifices that were made in vain, and then they had to pay unfair costs to France and Britain and even America. He wanted to use their frustration and anger to achieve glory. He wanted them to think as one entity and to make them have a group mindset. Because once you have a group mindset, you will agree more rapidly with whatever is being presented. So when he would present Nazi ideology and propaganda, they would be more willing to take it, as though an individual would probably think through the situation more. He wanted his crowd to get caught up in the emotion and frenzy, so he would raise his voice and he would do gestures to make sure that they would all agree with what he was saying. So overall, Adolf Hitler was one of the amazing orators of his time. He used the essential qualities of greatness to persuade and influence his audience to take action. He practiced his speeches many times. He connected with his audience, and he had a passionate purpose. He used expressive language with his voice and body. He wanted to create that atmosphere that was so engaging and enticing that people would want to follow him no matter what his situation was that he was presenting on. Even though his purpose was unethical, he still had a whole nation that agreed with him and that went with what he was talking about. Okay, now I have to show him, y'all. So here you go. Yay.